At the time of its release, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe received universal acclaim from both critics and fans, with the general consensus being that it was a solid improvement over its Wii U version. Currently, it is the highest selling game on the Nintendo Switch, and when combined with its Wii U predecessor, has sold over 53 million copies worldwide, making it the 7th best-selling video game of all time. Like previous Mario Kart titles, Deluxe retains largely the same premise of having the characters from the Mario franchise race in different types of tracks. Deluxe also adds new characters to its already diverse roster, most notably the Inklings from Splatoon. Recently, content updates were announced in the form of the Booster Course Pass DLC Season Pass, which plans on adding 48 tracks from prior Mario Kart titles. The first of these was released on March 18, 2022. In contrast to many of its contemporaries, whose single-player modes feature a story and bosses, this game features none of that, instead featuring a series of cups that players can freely pick and race in. While a promising start, post-launch support for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe looks to be secure for the near future. The catch is that the release of the next 42 maps will not be concluded until the end of 2023, leaving players waiting for quite a while. And so, here are 5 other games that'll be sure to satisfy the wants and needs of Mario Kart fans out there. Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. Much like fellow kart racing game Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Nitro Fueled is essentially an updated re-release of an older kart racing game released to newer consoles, complete with additional features, updates, and improvements, while also being generally faithful to the original's gameplay and feel. The key difference here is the gap between generations. Whereas Deluxe's console generation gap was a measly 3 years to wait, the gap between the original and Nitro Fueled is much longer, at 20 years. Compared to its contemporaries, Nitro Fueled is more challenging and caters more to serious players, requiring that players master the driving skills, the layout of each track, the stats of each character, and the use and function of each power-up. This game features its own dedicated story mode, with both returning and new characters in the fray. An alien named Nitrous Oxide visits Earth, challenging Earth's best drivers to race for him. Should they lose, Oxide would turn Earth into a concrete parking lot and enslave all of Earth's population. But should the Earthlings win, Oxide would promise to leave the planet alone for good. Compared to many of its contemporaries, which feature rather, shallow simple excuse plots, this game is a welcome breath of fresh air, with the story keeping players' attention up until the ending. Team Sonic Racing. Another spin-off game, this time based on Sega's long-running Sonic the Hedgehog series. This game serves as a follow-up to the well-received Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed, released back in 2012. In contrast to other kart racing games, Team Sonic Racing prioritizes cooperative and team-based gameplay, rather than competition between racers. Working together closely with teammates leading the way gives benefits to those lagging behind, allowing the latter to leapfrog their way ahead. The item selection, by comparison, however, feels more generic, with its selection being rather similar to many of its contemporaries, while its story leaves much to be desired, and its voice acting less than stellar. It does make up for it with its great gameplay, great customization options, and well-designed maps. Chocobo GP. Like its fellow kart racing games, Chocobo GP is a kart racing game spun off from a larger franchise, in this case the Final Fantasy series. This game, similar to Team Sonic Racing, is a full sequel to an existing game, rather than an updated re-release or remaster, in this case serving as a sequel to the PlayStation game Chocobo Racing. While its art style is rather bright and appealing towards younger audiences, several in-game cutscenes appeal more towards an older audience. This, combined with its higher overall learning curve, requirement to unlock other characters in story mode, and overall higher difficulty in its levels, feeling unsure whether it wants to appeal to new and casual players or returning and longtime veteran fans. That said, once you do get into the gameplay is still solid, and the challenge can be fun once you master handling each character and the layout of each track. Zeepkist. An independently developed game currently in early access on Steam, Zeepkist has an overall similar art style and aesthetic to similar racing games. In addition, it has both a local 4-player cooperative as well as an option for 16 players in online multiplayer, but that is where the similarities largely end. Unlike other racing games listed here, Zeepkist isn't a spin-off of an existing franchise or game, and is instead its own thing. And by its own thing, we mean it. There are no power-ups scattered around the map either, with the main gimmick instead being to unlock various soapboxes, cosmetics, and achievements as you progress. And finally, the game comes with its own level creator, where players can build their own custom tracks to race on. These custom levels can then be shared on the Steam Workshop, allowing for even more options than the already massive selection of 49 official maps currently in-game. As of this video, one DLC has been released, the King's Day DLC. This pack adds a number of new accessories and vehicles, all themed after the Dutch flag. And for less than $10 on Steam, what's not to love? What's more, this game is only available on Steam, a store known more for having more realistic racing games. Super Indie Karts. Yet another independently developed game, Super Indie Karts is also an early access title on Steam. Unlike its contemporaries, which are based on large established franchises, this game instead features characters from various independently developed titles, in a way similar to the Super Smash Bros. Games. Interestingly, Super Indie Karts, like its contemporaries, intentionally models itself after the Mario Kart games, particularly Super Mario Kart. That said, its art style, track designs, and gameplay, especially following several major content updates, have turned the game into a completely different beast. Compared to most other racing games available on Steam, this one is sure to appeal to those into kart racing games, rather than the more realistic and simulation-style racing games more commonly found here. And there you have it, 5 games that serve as solid alternatives to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. While many kart racing games are low-budget, generic clones of the Mario Kart franchise, these selection of games are bound to house something unique, interesting, and possibly even better than what Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, an already great game by itself, does.